are back. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy James. I am here today to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. It might get happen this video actually. Didn't much happen. Yeah, didn't much happen. So it might actually could work this time. Joining me as always, I have my special guest, my co-host, my bestest. Give it up for Mrs. Best, y'all. Y'all show us some love. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe to both channels. She is growing it up, y'all. She is so close to 500. Y'all show my girl some love. Subscribe. I know I get about a good 60 of y'all that ain't subscribed to me. Least you can do is subscribe to my best friend. That's all I'm saying.
Well, thank you.
Yes. So if you guys saw the caption, we were going to be talking about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, season 4, episode 6. And as we said, it was a snooze fest for everybody. So overall, what we're going to do is just go through everything, discuss it, and move on. So the episode actually starts off with we left off last episode, which was Angie K walking up to Meredith to confront her about the rumors. Now, keep in mind, y'all, Meredith did not start these rumors. So Whitney and Monica, which I'm mad at Monica because Monica could have said, listen, I didn't hear this rumor from Meredith. I heard this around town. Like this was being said about your husband around town. So all she had to do was say that. And even Whitney, from the most part of it, I'm just like, I'm looking at Whitney like, you know what? You stirred this entire pot just
Has
to make
nothing to
Meredith
do
look
with her.
bad. Yeah, to make Meredith
Absolutely.
look bad. And now it's like this whole thing turned into a cluster. Like now we don't know which direction to go. All we know is that Whitney's in the forefront of this all. And for those of y'all, because a lot of people were like, no, Meredith just started. Where in the episode? Because I must have missed it. Where in this episode or the previous episodes did Meredith say this man was gay and had a boyfriend all around town? Allegedly.
These women are just trying to come for Meredith. And I don't like Meredith at all, like not even a little bit, but she never said that. And then they try to say she has a history of this, but she kind of she doesn't. She'll bring up the fact that there's rumors, but she won't ever
Yeah, but she won't
pinpoint a
indulge in them, and that's
specific
I think that
rumor.
yeah, I think that that's the whole point. She doesn't indulge in it. Yeah, it's messed up that she says these things, but it's not like she really did just put it out there.
And she
So
never does it until they come for her first. So stop fucking
right,
with her,
exactly,
and then none of it would come up. That's the
Whitney.
point.
But Meredith goes and sits down with Angie, and Whitney and Monica sit down with them. And Angie. First of all, Angie was out of line for this, but I'm gonna go ahead and say Angie was all like, you're starting rumors about me and my husband. My husband does not mess with other men. And Meredith was like, I didn't start that rumor. I heard it, but I didn't start it. So Meredith acknowledges that she's heard these rumors. And she looks over at Whitney, which cracked me up. I actually started laughing when she did this. She goes, I didn't tell you anything. She goes, you did, Meredith. When we were at the airport, you said you knew information. And the key point that Whitney said was information. She never said blatantly that this man is out there sleeping with other men. So, y'all, Whitney, I'm telling you, I cannot with her, y'all. Like, I'm serious. Like, she has really stirred this pot. And it's like, I can't even do it with her no more.
I'm tired of Whitney. I feel like Whitney reminds me of Marlo when she was a friend of. She just has to be in everything. She's trying so hard. But I say that to say I feel like Whitney would be a better friend of than housewife just because she don't
I'm
really give nothing individually, and then when she does I feel like it's the same thing that's just slowly boiling.
I feel like this. I feel like the only thing that Whitney gives is, you know, a plethora of like different things to see what sticks to make sure she has her spot for next season. That's what she's been doing this entire time that she's been on this show. She did it season 1 when her and Lisa were into it. She did it season 2 when her and Mary were into it. So now here we go with season 3 with her and Heather getting into it. So it's going to make me look at the Heather situation with her and Heather a little bit differently now that I'm looking at this. But moving on, not to get so sidetracked. Um, Angie says we don't talk about the rumors about you spreading the lie, spreading the wire for all these men and everything. And Meredith in her Queen Elizabeth accent, looking like Caitlyn Jenner, talking about I am you. When you learn how to talk to people, you don't talk to me like that. I am disengaging. I am walking away from this section right now. You are disgusting. And I'm like, Meredith, if you don't stop acting like some old battered, abused white woman right now,
That's what irks my soul
yes,
watching this show as a whole, because I feel like they all do it to some extent, but I feel like Meredith is the worst.
Meredith takes it to a whole nother
And
level
it's
of
like,
like, and you know what's crazy is Meredith used to be one of my favorites, but watching this season so far, I'm not feeling Meredith right now. I'm not feeling Lisa either, but I'm not feeling Meredith either, and I'm just like, y'all really gonna let Monica and Mary be the only two people I like on this? Really? Because I don't like
I,
any of the rest of them. So as Meredith was walking away, Monica follows her, and directly what ends up happening from there is Monica is still sorry, y'all. Something fell out my pocket. Monica still is, or not Monica. Meredith is like talking to her. The other ladies. I think it was Mary and Lisa sitting at the little area, and Lisa's like, "What's going on?" And Meredith was like, she's crazy. She's loony. Like she's lost her mind. She's a liar. And Mary's sitting there just taking all the information in. And then Angie comes and walks up again, and Meredith gets up and walks away. She goes, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. But Lisa, like, well, wait, because she hasn't told Lisa what was going on. So Lisa was like, well, Monica, why don't you come over here and tell me? So Monica joins Mary and Lisa at the little bench area. And she goes, well, there are rumors about Angie's husband. And Lisa's like, what rumors? She goes, well, about her husband sleeping with other men. No, he did. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. I put that on my kids. I have never heard him, and I would never see him do that. I'm like, Lisa.
whenever people say in life, in fiction, and in reality television, I put that on my kids. I put that on my son. I put that, them is the people you don't trust. Because
Right.
listen, if you really give a damn about your kids, you're not putting shit on them. You're trying to
Yeah,
leave them
yeah,
free
exactly.
and
And trying to,
freer.
yeah, this world is
Like,
already hard enough. Like, why are you putting
why
even
are
more
you putting
difficulty on your children and wishing that upon them for something that you don't know to be a fact? And I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm not saying he does or does not do this. I have suspicions because of his behavior. But the problem that I have with people is this is that acknowledging that these are rumors, and even we'll get to it in a minute, but even Angie said he's had to deal with this before. So what I'm saying is it's not far-fetched to think these things. And based on that man's mannerism and demeanor, it's given that. I'm sorry, it just does. So I'm not saying the rumors are true. I'm just saying it just gives that. And I said this from episode one when I first looked at him. I said, I'm sorry, no, he gives me something different. And then looking at their dynamic, it even signifies it even more than what I'm saying. So moving on, Meredith, no, Angie leaves the event. She tells Lisa, "I can't take it anymore. I'm leaving." She about it, but before she walks out, she says, "Bye, Meredith. You're a miserable woman and everything." And I was like, "See, you didn't even have to do all that." This lets me know that there's some guilt that you've had with this because you're steady trying to put this off on Meredith. Once again, you don't even know if Meredith spread these rumors. You're just taking the word of someone else and not getting all your facts straight. Because Meredith told you she didn't
if
start
there
it, and
was,
you still.
I feel
Hmm?
like the proper way, if there is a proper way to react, would have been to leave the event,
I,
addressing her at the event in front of everybody. Now, and let's say these rumors are just amongst like a small elite group in Utah. Well, now all these random people at the party, the people working there, there's really a rumor out, and you spread that, not Meredith. So I'm like,
right, exactly. Like, and
what
that's
you
what I'm
spread
trying to get people to understand. Because if this wasn't true, all Angie had to do was just laugh. Because I would have. If somebody brought me a rumor that I had never heard, allegedly, that I have never heard, doesn't have any pertinence to my life. If somebody brought a rumor to me saying that my husband sleeps with women. Do you understand? I would laugh as hard as I could, and I would have said, "I hope he got the $200 from the table." I would have threw that back in her. I would have threw that back in everybody's face because it's unbelievable. If it was really not if it was not true, anything that they say would have been unbelievable. And you have to learn how to play with people back the same way people play with you, play with them back. And that's why I said with Angie,
especially,
she got too upset about
especially
it.
when it comes to your husband. Like, I don't
Yes,
play about my husband. I really do not play about that. That doesn't mean I'm gonna go off and fight people, but listen, I'm a Gemini. We're analytical, calculated, and tactical. You know what I'm saying?
right.
That's what you need to use in situations like that. But for sure, I'm looking at NGK like, girl,
You doing too
none of
much.
these people are your friend. It's, I don't know, maybe they do things differently in Utah because of all the
Maybe.
religion that is in there. Because I know religion doesn't want you acting a fool, but so I would have took it as all you bitches been talking about my husband, huh, and my marriage, and she's just mad at Meredith. So
Right.
that leads me to believe that it might be a little true because you trying to focus and create a villain instead when you need to be mad at all these heifers, except for Mary because she's just worried about
Mary
food.
was ready. Speaking of Mary, Mary was killing me. Mary was like, Lisa, where the food at? Where the food, Lisa? Lisa go, oh yeah, we got food. Where's Emily? Emily, can you make her a fresh flatbread pizza, please? Monica sitting there
Listen,
said, yeah, pizza is definitely me. Mary looked at her. She said, you can order your own. And I hollered. I was like, a lot of people find Mary to be rude, and it was this situation here. So
it's
Mary
not
goes up
people that find there's a certain group of
demographic of
people,
people.
a certain
Mm,
demographic
a
that
certain
finds that
demographic of
to
people.
be
Yeah, because then
rude.
Mary goes up to the bar and she goes, "You don't have any to-go plates?" And he goes, "Oh no, I didn't want to touch it with my bare hands."
It's like put on gloves. I know you
And
have them.
that's what I was about to say. I was like, "Well, one, why don't you have gloves? Two, this is a catered event. Why don't you have to-go containers? You ain't got no aluminum foil. You ain't got no like. Come on, like this is ridiculous. Like, and I didn't blame Mary. A lot of people were saying she was rude to the person. No, she wasn't.
She didn't
I've
press
seen
him. She
I've
didn't
seen people say worse when at an event. I've seen people do worse than what Mary did.
listen. I worked as a waitress, and I'm probably the worst customer. I worked at a few places, one of them Elephant Bar, but I was there for a while, and I don't give a damn. You gonna get my food right. You gonna give me the right fucking service. And if you don't like me calling you out on it, then do fucking better. That's just how I think. I'm just gonna call. That's how black women are. We gonna call it.
Hmm.
We're gonna fucking call it. And he did not. He when you're at a catered event, y'all, these are things that you expect. It's not like just going out to like a little hole in the wall or your local Chipotle. Like they should be serving the food on your fucking plate. And if not, then tell your friends or whoever threw the event to do better. That's just my
Right,
opinion.
exactly. Yeah. So moving on from the scene, everybody leaves. Now the next day, and we are at Angie K's house. Angie is making her bed, and she sits on the bed. Her husband walks in with some coffee, and you can tell she's visibly upset because it did strike a nerve, which makes me believe that something about these rumors are true. Because once
Mhm.
again, why are you this affected? Like this cannot be affecting you that much. So she sits down, tells her husband about Meredith and how she's spreading the rumors. Which once again, no one has heard Meredith say this out her mouth. They gonna piss me off with this. But she talks to her husband, and her husband is visibly upset. He actually starts crying because he's concerned about their daughter, learning this information about him and thinking this of him and the infidelity. And I'm looking at them like,
That's not why he cried.
if y'all don't I almost started cussing. I'm doing good. I haven't cussed yet. If I'm like, if y'all don't cut this out, that girl ain't a bit more thinking about you and no other man than anybody else. Like, come on now. Like, your daughter is just like Angie, is delusional and about you, and you delusional about yourself. Because I'm sorry, there's no way that you really think that your daughter is really going to be affected by some rumors
When
after your
you
wife
come
just
on a
exposed you.
reality TV show, I get sick of hearing this across every show, not just them.
Yes.
You're on a reality show, nobody's perfect. Nobody. And so you have to expect that if something scandalous or controversial has happened in your past, your present, or is going to happen, it's going to come out. It's going to be talked about. If nothing scandalous has happened, but you've been close to somebody who has something shady happen or just anything like that, it's going to come up in a negative realm. That's just what they do. It's been this way on reality TV since its conception. So it's like I get irritated with people like Angie K. She really went from acting okay, like whatever, Meredith, and getting in her face to suddenly becoming like this trauma victim. She's making the bed. She's got to have friends come and talk to her. She's like
It's
Angie,
given it's given a martyr syndrome person. It just really
right?
gives
But
like
then
it's
in the
just
same
such
sentence, they say that they've heard rumors like this before. So how are you so mad at Meredith when you and your husband say because he's a hairdresser,
right. See,
you've heard
Angie
this
digs
for
her
over 30
Angie
years?
exactly. Angie digs her own grave with her tongue, y'all, because she just said her husband has been dealing with this for 30 years. That
Right.
literally came out her mouth. So why, once again, why is this such a shock now coming from a lady who it didn't even come from? Why is it such a shock now? So
Listen,
Angie K. Oh, bravo in that call center. I'm gonna say this again, and I'm gonna keep saying this. Y'all kept the wrong friend of the show, Dana. I'm starting to think that you didn't want to come back.
she probably didn't because I've seen a
I'm
lot
starting to
of
think you
people
because
say
I
what you're
told
saying about Angie K being the wrong person to stay on the show.
yes, it's like Bravo in the call center. I need y'all to send a complaint to headquarters. Y'all really thought Angie was the perfect cast member to hold the snowflake? Y'all really thought that? Because I'm sorry, I'm looking at her like I can't feel bad for you. Like I cannot. I want to, because that's a hard for anybody to have to go through that, especially when you have businesses and you have reputation. I get it. But at the same time, Angie is literally confirming everything out of her own mouth. So it's like, what are you mad at?
I don't think that her business will be impacted by this rumor.
Unless allegedly one of the men is up in there. Unless
Now,
I'm saying
because
this
doesn't she
allegedly.
have a bunch of businesses, not just maybe the one in Utah will, because in the religions that are practiced heavily in Utah, their religions are not for homosexuality or anything like that. So I can
Which
understand
we understand, yeah.
if that's the concern. But they have shops everywhere, not just in Utah. And really, it's just those like overly religious areas. Hello, look at Atlanta. Like, it's not, I just feel like she's trying to
I'm
make
just
this so
saying,
much bigger
yes.
than it really is.
No, what she do is she's looking for a scapegoat. I'm
Mm.
convinced once she said out her own mouth that her husband's been dealing with this for 30 years, it means you're looking for a scapegoat. You're looking for somebody to blame. You're looking for a representative to represent everybody who said this about your husband. And that's not fair. Like, I don't like when people do that. Like pick out a person just because she said she had information, which all of them do because they've all heard the rumors. Heather confirmed she's heard the rumor. Monica confirmed she heard the rumor. Everybody's heard these rumors. So yeah, you're looking for a scapegoat. I'm not buying this, Angie. Sorry, I didn't buy it in the first place, but I'm definitely not buying it now.
And the
So
other thing, Angie K, I'm kind of looking like, are you putting these rumors out there considering that it's been happening for 30 years? And you guys, if this has been happening for 30 years, should be used to doing this, used to turning it and having it come out in your favor? Because I'm just gonna say this might sound shallow as hell, but compared to the other housewives, this lady only has 19,000 followers on Instagram, and I'm like, that's really not that many people. And I'm like, are you doing this because to become more relevant? Are you trying to win the popularity of the crowd by getting them to feel like you're a victim of some sort? Like, I just, I don't, I just had to put that out there. I don't trust this lady at
I
all.
don't trust her either, and I just feel like they chose the wrong cast member. Bravo on the call center. Y'all got to do better than this. So moving on. Um, the next thing we're gonna talk about was not Angie, Lord, Monica and her kids. So Monica's getting the girls ready for school and everything. She in there cooking eggs and bacon and some fruit, and she's talking about how she is raising her kids so much better than her upbringing because she moved around a lot when she was a kid. And I'm looking at Monica, and I'm not trying to judge people. I really not, because I guess she is just starting out life, but it bothers me when I see somebody with a Range Rover living in a small house like that. That bothers me. And let me tell you why that bothers me. Because Monica, you can go get you a Tahoe and have a much bigger house than that. Just
Tahoes are
saying.
nice. That's what y'all ride around in your black Ubers anyway.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, like, that bothered me seeing her and all the kids cramped up in that car, and then how crowded that house was. That really did bother me
She
because it
needs
was
a
like,
larger car.
she needs a larger car and she needs a larger home. Like, I need her to, like, and I'm not trying to be shady, y'all.
Example,
I'm just saying
Eileen.
that car is $70,000. A
Yeah.
Tahoe is 52. That is $20,000 she could be banking
Mhm.
and be putting a down payment on a much larger home in Salt Lake City. They have them.
Maybe, all I know is Eileen from the Housewives of Beverly Hills years ago. If you know, you know. She drove that the ugly Ford car. What is it called? A Ford. I can't think of the name right now. I'm not getting into that. But she drove the long Ford because
The
she said she.
expedition,
No, it's not an expedition. It's a
the
newer.
excursion.
No, I
You
can't.
said
I'm
it
not.
was long, right?
It's like it's
Oh,
a long
yeah,
block.
I know what you're talking about. It's a Ford. Kim has one. I'm trying to think of what it's called.
Not Kim has one, but
Yes,
they're
she
hella
does.
spacious. They're hella
They
spacious.
are. Yeah,
And
she
they're
has
cheap.
one.
They're affordable. And she was saying on Beverly Hills, she was like, yeah, I've been on because she's on a soap opera for over 20 fucking years. The lady has hella money. She's like, and her husband her owned the little dog food company and was famous. This lady said, we have that. This is more economical. We can fit. It fits us all. And it runs good. And it's good on gas. Listen, James, you are fucking right. That's what I'm gonna say.
And I'm
Because
not, and as I said, I'm not trying to shade Monica, but I'm just saying I need people to make better decisions. I could see if Monica was single, living in that house with the Range Rover, fine. I have no problem with that. But to me, I just felt like that was, it just looked, she looked so cramped in
well,
that
she bought
car.
a Louis
With,
Vuitton bag just so that she could fit in with this whole.
right. And I was just about to make that point. Just like the
Yeah.
Louis Vuitton bag to try to fit in with, it seems like you trying to fit in with the elite girls. And we don't need you to do that, Monica. We really don't. You would have been fine in the Chevy Tahoe with the third row seat. You would have been fine in a nice 4-bedroom home, two
Monica,
levels.
you too close to California to do all of that too. Because if you come to California, hell, go to the nicest neighborhoods, say it's certain areas of Atlanta, probably all over this country. The true rich, not the flashy ones you think you know and see everywhere. The true rich, they be having Toyotas in their driveway. I be driving through the billionaire neighborhoods here in the Bay Area, Palo Alto, all these nice areas. I'm telling you right now, they all have Hondas, Kias, hella Toyotas, and they be old models. Like that's why they're rich. They know what to do
We
with their
just
money.
saying, yeah, we just saying, Monica, like, look, you know, you don't need to do everything right away. You do not need that Range Rover, and you do not need, like, you could have put that money to better use. But moving on, y'all. Lisa and her son go get a pedicure, and she's talking to him, about the mission. And Lisa did this the entire episode where she makes everything about her, and it drove me crazy. I didn't notice it so much with her son. There was only maybe one or two times she did it with her son. It was the first time was like, oh, I'm so proud of you, aren't you? I'm so proud of myself as a parent for raising you like this. And the son looked at her like, huh? I did this for me. I didn't do this for you. This has no bearings on you. And I was hollering. I said, thank you. Because y'all, the problem in Lisa's household, I could tell nobody holds Lisa accountable.
No, she's the only female one. I could say from
Which,
experience.
mhm.
I'm one of the first females born in my dad's side of the family in like 3 decades.
Oh, wow.
And yes, fun fact. They were like they prayed over me. It was a thing. Like, but basically, I feel, and my husband will attest to that, I can be spoiled. Very, 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 very spoiled. However, I think there's a difference when you try to talk about yourself in a way to relate to others versus when you're talking about yourself and referencing yourself because you're a narcissist. In my opinion, I'm
Oh,
just saying that's just
oh,
an
we
opinion.
don't get into, yeah, we don't
You
definitely
can
get
be
into it
spoiled. I think
because
Lisa's definitely spoiled, but I have a feeling also her kids, especially as kids go through teens, that deductive reasoning, they start to think about things thoroughly, start really thinking about their life. I think this is a good way for him to like get away and maybe have some of the things in life out of a woman, a wife that comes with religion that he wishes he had with his mama. I'm just not to go too deep, but Lisa just seems difficult to exist with. I know that she loves her kids, but I think that she really is so about herself that there's probably some things that they were missing, if I can say
hmm
that without getting canceled.
right. So moving on, speaking of Lisa, now that we got past the scene with her son, her and Whitney go check on Angie K. This scene irritated me for many different reasons. Because I got tired of looking Angie play this victim. I got tired of Whitney with that smirk on her face, knowing that she started all of this and letting it play out the way that it's doing. And I don't know what Lisa was on. I just do not know, y'all. So let me paint the picture for y'all. So firsthand, Angie K is very traumatized by these rumors and that she cannot believe that Meredith has started this and everything. She is just kind of on that row of like, this is so unacceptable. And I'm sitting there looking at Lisa and Whitney. I'm like, I want one of y'all to tell her that Meredith did not do this. But here come Lisa talking about, it's triggering me because Meredith did the same thing to me last year. And like, oh my God, like I really want to start a new chapter with Meredith, but I can't because what's coming in the back of my mind is what she did to me. And the whole time Angie K is like, I know, it's stuck. So then they change the subject, and and because Lisa pointed out, Monica's not your friend. And this is where Whitney speaks up. No, Monica is her friend because Monica spoke up and said, yes, I heard the rumor and told her what the rumor was. So she told Angie not to be mad at Monica because at least she had the balls to tell you to your face what the rumors were. So then, and Angie K lets out the bag that Heather invited her to her home. They were painting bird houses and, pretty much made amends. And I'm over there looking at Lisa because Lisa is fuming. She goes, she's never asked me to come over to her house and make amends. She treated me so dirty, and I am really triggered by that. I didn't get an apology, and for 3 years, all I ever did was get ridiculed by her, and she judged me and my family, and we're all looking at Lisa like, even Whitney was looking at Lisa like, what are you doing? What is going on? And I'm like, Lisa, 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 you need to check into better health immediately. I need you to see at least a therapist twice a week
An aggressive one.
for a minimum of 2 hours a day. And as Mrs. Best said, an aggressive one that's going to pull everything up out you.
I'll be available in a year.
Yes, because what you just displayed was a psychotic narcissist mental break. This conversation had absolutely nothing to do with you. This is a woman your friend, mind you, your friend, pouring her heart and her emotional state of being to you. And all you could do in that moment was turn this conversation completely in a U turn and drive it right back to yourself. That
Mhm.
is amazing to me.
And the thing of it is, if it was something, even if this were fresh, what Lisa went through, it's not, it's in poor taste. It's uncouth. You should not you don't matter in situations not about you where you're supposed to offer support. I know that probably didn't sound the best, but like there's been situations and times when I'm going through it, literally in arguments with my spouse or having a hard time in life. And if James hit me up, I'm not going to bring up the fact that I'm going through this too. And that, no, I'm just going to listen and comment on that situation, not your own self or your situations. Because sometimes people ain't even talking to their friends half the time when you plus 30 and these women's age for like actual guidance. Like they just want to, vent or hear that the things that they are, choosing to do are the right thing or headed in the right direction. So you can't, all you can do when we're adults is like be there for people without making it about yourself. And then when you need them, they'll be there for you without making it about
Exactly.
themselves. It's like tennis, ball goes one way, comes back the other. So I've tried with Lisa. I have tried, but I've this woman is hard to tolerate. I feel like that's why her child wants to go on that mission. He can escape the television and the media and all of that. Even if you don't watch this show, it's hard to avoid it. I can imagine what it feels like having a mom on this show, specifically to have Lisa of all moms to be your mom. I'd rather have Mary Cosby as my mama than to have to deal
I'm
with
trying to tell you, she might
Lisa.
be shady and might be dismissive, but at least she'll feed me, and I know I'm gonna be well kept.
She'll
So
feed
yeah,
me, well kept, and she'll protect me like no other. So,
absolutely.
I just feel like Lisa, her behavior in some ways is probably difficult for an 18-year-old boy to deal with.
I can agree.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
Lisa's.
speaking of behaviors, we're gonna go to the part of the episode that pissed me off. So the part of the episode that pissed me off, Monica is driving her grandmother and her mama to the senior care center so they can go ahead and play some cards and some games. Now, at the same time, you know, she's giving Monica's giving dialogue about how she grew up and everything, and with her mom, she wasn't close with none of her cousins because her mom moved around a lot. And when they get to the senior citizen center, Monica is engaging with, the elders. She's playing the games with them. It was a very cute scene. And then it went left. Her and her mom break off to go get some coffee. And she's talking up to her mom, and she's talking about boundaries because apparently Monica's mama likes to walk into the house unannounced and not say anything at all kind of time in the morning. So what ends up happening from there is an argument breaks off because she tells Monica, "Hey, are you and your daughters going to church? They need Jesus in their life." Monica was offended, like any mother would be, because when Monica was growing up, her mom gave all of her, morals and compass to the religion, and and it sounded like to me it was neglect of her child. I felt like there was a whole bunch of neglect to your child because you were so focused on trying to do the right thing and trying to be in religion that you completely missed the mark when it came to actually giving your daughter guidance. So directly from there, it spiraled because Monica told her mama, "You were not there. You were not, in places that I need you, and I'm going to be there for my daughter." And Monica's mom makes the excuse that all moms make. I didn't make any money. I wasn't doing that. And Monica was like, "Hello, me. Barely made $20 an hour, and I was on government assistance." And I was like, "Oh, this is good. This makes me like Monica, but I was mad at that mama." And let me tell you why I was mad at that mama. Because as mamas like her, that honestly, you want recognition and you want awards and you want people to say that you was this upstanding lady, but you don't come with the wherewithal, the accolades, or the detriment to be that person. If that was Monica's experience. How did you feel about the conversation between Monica and her mama? I need to know, Miss Therapist.
Oh Lord, I actually empathized with it because it's the exact same situation I have with my mother. And it impacts when you have to. James knows I didn't come to my high school even until like well into the middle of my freshman year. And then I didn't finish there. I moved probably like well over 20 times in like 3.5 years and went to I think like 12 different schools. So I get where Monica's coming from. I always say if I have kids and when I decide to actually do it, if I do it, because I don't know no more. I want to make sure that I'm stable, like not renting a homeowner. So I get where Monica's coming from, but parents, especially parents that are absentee but want to have the glorification, or parents that were shitty or dropped the ball in some areas, if the kid comes out okay, then they tell themselves in their mind that they've done something right. And it's like, no, you have not done something right just because your kid becomes successful throughout circumstance. But that lady's older. Um, she gives me like those Scientology people vibes. Like, and I know this is bad to say, but in the Mormon church, just Google the Mormon church, y'all. That's all I'm gonna say. Because I don't want to get on anyone's religion. I know some people don't practice to those extremities, but they do operate in some way similar to Scientology and cult like ways with excommunication from family members and friends just who lived their life differently, things of that nature. So I get where Monica don't want her kids involved in church. I also just don't think anybody, whether your family, sister, whoever, you can't tell anybody what to do with their kids when it comes to religion. I think that's something that we should like stick to the law of the government. Is he still here? It just put me big on the screen. Hey, y'all. But yeah, I don't think anybody should tell anybody how to raise their kids or what choice when it comes to religion. That's Monica's mom was weird for that. And I'm looking at y'all like, y'all really arguing in the senior
I
citizens.
was looking at them like that too. I was like, this ain't the time nor the place. But I get, but Monica has no filter, no couth, no nothing. She gonna do whatever she want to do.
Because her
At
mom
the,
was in that church instead of
and that's
that's
my point. And
yeah.
that's my point. And see, and the thing about Monica's mama, but I need you to understand is that you thought you were doing the best for your daughter and had the best intentions. It just didn't land the way it was supposed to. And that's not what religion is supposed to do. And I want mothers to get that. Because usually it's mothers and sometimes fathers too. Sometimes it's fathers too. Religion is literally a communion of aligning your mind with divine mind. It is not the way of notability of life, meaning that yes, you can have life experience and do the spirituality, but you can't do life lessons and think that religion is supposed to correct all of that. It's not, it doesn't happen that way. It never has and it never will. To say her daughters need Jesus, no, what her daughters needs are guidance. Now, we could throw religion and sprinkle it through there, like we could put it on top like a seasoning, but at the same time, those daughters have to have structure because they live in a world where sometimes for women it is not always safe. They are already in a disassembled home because the father and the mother are not together anymore. So now she has to play two parents. And then I don't know what the situation is with her ex-husband and where he is in the picture because she hasn't mentioned that yet. But what I'm saying is that she has to teach her daughters that sometimes life does not go the way you want to. Yes, you could pray, but you should be praying to sound your mind, not to want things and not to God have Jesus guide you. You have to learn how to be that for yourself because you are the representation of God on this earth.
They can go. I don't see anything wrong with, my aunt used to send my cousins to church and she never went herself just because she wanted them to have some type of moral, foundation. But
But
I just feel like if they're not your kids, stand by that. Monica's mom needs to be quiet. She should, especially considering the fact that your daughter ended up finding a marriage of stability and then wrecking that by sleeping with her brother-in-law.
which Monica, you still have not posted this picture of this man. I need to see. Has anyone seen this man? I need to see what, because this was 18 months. I need to see what this man looks like. And then I want to see what his wife looks like. Moving on. So we then move on to Heather and Whitney. They meet up to go skiing. And as they, finish their little ski, because I'm not talking about Meredith and her scene with her son. That was stupid. I'm not going to do that. So, yes, I'm in it with Whitney and Heather. Whitney and Heather meet up and they begin talking about Lisa because Heather brings up that she talked to Lisa about Jack's mission. And Lisa brings up, well, you were the last person to find out, and Heather felt away about that. And once again, I feel like I don't know if in the first video I said Heather should mind her business. I think I did. I feel like I'm like, why would she tell you? Because it's not nothing to do with you. But then I think you reminded me that Heather has all this experience and maybe she could have guidelined that. And that's where Heather was coming from. Heather actually got some sense this season. She goes, I had a horrible experience in the church. And Whitney's like, well, if that's what Lisa wants to do, if that's what he chose, like, go for it. Like, do what you can. And I said, Whitney, this is you being up Lisa's hind parts. And this is what we talking about. This is what we saying. Because you have said on this show that you want to be excommunicated because you had an affair with your husband. And y'all were both excommunicated from the church. You said this out your own mouth. So now why all of a sudden, if this is what Jack wants to do when you've had horrible experience, like Heather said, and I was actually on Heather's side with this one. Why, if you have horrible experience, would you encourage your friend's son, even though I think it's all signed still delivered, he's going. But why would you not speak up and be on Heather's side with this? See, that's what makes you want. That's what proves Mary Cosby's point about Whitney want to be in with the popular girls. This is what she wants to do. How did you feel about Whitney and Heather's conversation?
I didn't care. I'm just like, it's. Why are y'all having a conversation about whether somebody chooses to tell you what's going on with their child or not? Like, I don't get that. Amongst my group of friends, I'm not going to get mad if a friend of mine who has children, I have friends with children, if I'm not knowing or talked to about everything that happens in their kid's life. There's friends I've talked to and they're like, oh yeah, he graduated high school, this and that. Good for him. What's for brunch? Like, why is that a big deal? Whitney and Heather, more so Whitney. I'm sick of this bitch. That's just where it's at. I'm sick of Whitney. I'm like that little thermometer with the mercury. Like, it's boiled over. There's an explosion. I'm over Whitney. She's intolerable. She keeps
very much
starting
so.
all this shit. You're coming to Heather to talk. First you were for being skeptical about Heather, but you never are skeptical when it comes to talking about other people's business. So I'm just over Whitney. And apologies. I know I'm all dark on the screen. I have no idea what the hell going on with the camera, but
we both tired of Whitney. At this point, Whitney can go. I won't miss her. Angie K can go. I will not miss her. Surprisingly, I want to keep Lisa on the show because I think she delivers a brain of crazy that I think the show needs. Meredith in this whole Queen Elizabeth act dialogue, Meredith, you are getting on my bad side, and I do not like that because up until this point, I didn't have an issue with you. Mary, once again, they better be paying you what they're paying the top dog on the show. I'm just saying.
Oh, well, now they're mad at Mary Cosby. I guess she made a shady comment towards Heather's weight for a corset with Gucci.
Oh, I saw that comment. Yeah,
people are really upset at Mary Cosby about that. Y'all really need to go find a life and figure out why you are representing the privilege that people are tired of, because y'all did not have the same energy when that Jenny Nguyen lady, the way they going in on these comments like that, because she called the heaviest cast member heavy and threw shade. I don't know.
She didn't, and let me say
Housewives.
something to you. She didn't say heavy. She didn't say any of that. She said, I don't think, she was talking about the label. She doesn't think it's real because they don't make a size 14.
They do make that size. They're known for
being. They do, but that's.
However, it was meant to be shade. So I'm like, are we really going to cry over what?
I didn't even find it as shady. I didn't know until I looked it up after she said it, and I was like,
no, Mary knew what she was doing. She threw shade, but I don't think she should be attacked for that. That's what she's supposed to do.
That wasn't fat shaming though to me. Fat shaming is if she called her fat. We do straw man argument. This world likes to do straw man arguments where honestly, if someone says something, there's an underlying meaning that it means something else. I'm not buying it. I'm sorry. That is not what she said. So therefore, I'm not going to take what she said as her calling that lady fat. That's not what she said.
But even if she did, who cares? We are not
going to this world that they're coming down on her the way they
did. The Salt Lake City fans, the type of fans, they are more sensitive than other fans, because I'm like, y'all, this is what got you going. This is what's upsetting y'all.
I feel like Mary Cosby is
children and gay husbands and Mary. This is how irrelevant, I'm sorry, that Angie K is to this show. You are the scandal of the season. As the people on your page say, you're carrying, even though you're not. But how are you carrying? How does all of this happen with rumors? And all anybody can talk about right now is Mary Cosby's fun shade. And I'm just over here like, they have to do better because there's scandals happening and nobody even in the internet really gives a damn. I haven't seen a tabloid or TMZ. No one really seems to care. I'm just like, what do you think gonna happen with Salt Lake City in the future if they don't get it down?
Right, because no one's story is sticking, and the only time it was entertaining is when Mary came back. So y'all can't have it both ways. Either you accept her how she is, or leave it alone. But that's
Yep.
it, y'all. That was Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. We got to hurry and get to Mrs. Best channel so we can do Love and Hip Hop Miami. So y'all make sure you subscribe to my girl. She is making it. We gon' and y'all ain't gonna want to miss this because I have some really strong opinions
Oh
on this
Lord.
season.
Oh Lord.
So she is, yeah, y'all ain't gonna miss this episode recap. So thank you guys for coming in. Like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you in the next review. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye bye.